I have this theory that I believe is fundamental to success in any realm in life. And I stole this principle from aviation. It's called Bernoulli's principle, and this states that as velocity increases, pressure decreases. This is the fundamentals of how an airplane lifts off the ground and flies in the air. I'm going to explain to you how that applies in all realms of life and how we can take that principle and use it for success in health, in wealth, and in relationships. They all come down to this one thing. So let me get this straight. You're telling me, Alex, that the same thing that allows lift on this jet, that allows this thing to get airborne with all its weight, is the same principle that can be used for success in health, in wealth, and in relationships? Come on, that's just too simple. That's just too good to be true. How does it work? How does this plane get off the ground? And how can I apply that to my life? Let me show you how real quick. So an airplane flies off the ground because of the shape of its wing and because of a principle called Bernoulli's principle, which states that as the velocity increases, pressure decreases. And this shape is what's important because as the airflow hits the leading edge of the wing, it comes up, it curves, and this curvature allows the air to flow faster than the airflow beneath it. And this velocity that increases causes the pressure to go down. And this velocity that is slower causes the pressure to rise. There's an inverse relationship. So what happens is that there's a high pressure system underneath and a low pressure system above. And the high pressure always wants to go to low pressure. So the high pressure then pushes up on the bottom of the wing, thus creating lift. And that's what causes the airplane to lift off the ground. That's Bernoulli's principle. So how do we use this now in success with other fields? So Bernoulli was a smart guy. He got the idea that all you need is a pressure difference, more pressure underneath than above the wing, and that's what's going to then allow it to lift off the ground successfully. So what if we're low in our areas of wealth, low in health, low in relationships? We're not doing well. We want to be lifted up. We want to increase our abilities and capacity in those areas. Can we use that principle? Yes, we can, and I want to call that differential force. We can use differential force in all of those areas, and it's all about managing the pressure differences. Let me show you how in each area. So we're going to pretend now we're talking about wealth. This is a wing. We want to be able to lift our wealth higher. We want to increase it. So how does this principle work? If we imagine the air hitting the wing here, this is not air anymore though. This is now income. This is income rising. The more you have that is coming into your pocket and the less expenses you have, the higher you're going to increase your wealth. There's a difference between these two. And the bigger the difference, the more you will be stronger in this area, or you will lift higher. This is how the wealthy become richer, because the quicker and the more income that they get, the less pressure they have here. Because the easier it gets, the more income you have. And the bigger difference in pressure or differential force, the higher you go in your wealth success. Same principle applies if you're trying to lose weight and increase your health, right? If you have a high velocity, or in other words, a lot of exercise, and you have very little or less calories, so you're burning more than you're consuming, you're going to lose weight and you're going to increase your overall health and fitness. Then vice versa is true. If you're consuming more calories, if you're eating more than working out, the opposite's going to happen. You're going to gain weight. That's all it is. It comes down to math. It comes down to what's going in versus what's going out, and what is the differential force. If the difference is massive, you're going to have extreme results either in the good side or the bad side. It's up to you. And finally, relationships. If we have an abundance of deposits into our relationships with friends and family, in other words, if we are giving a lot, putting in a lot of effort, and we have less withdrawals and we're taking less from people, we are going to have fantastic relationships. They're going to be lifted up. We are going to lift others up and they're going to lift us up if we are giving more than we are taking. And the opposite is true. If you decide to take more from your relationships than you do give, and you put in little effort, they're going to start to deteriorate. Your relationships are going to lose lift and they will eventually hit the ground. If you want them to succeed, make sure you're always depositing more than you're taking out. That's how you use differential force in your health, wealth, and relationships. I want you to focus on that one thing, and that's it. Make it very simple for yourself. If you want to increase your wealth, increase that income, decrease the expenses, increase the pressure differential between those two things. The bigger the difference, the bigger results. In your health, if you want to lose weight, burn more calories than you consume. Count your calories and see how much you're burning, and make sure that difference is big. The bigger the difference, the more weight you're going to lose and the quicker you'll lose it. And if you want to gain weight, do the direct opposite. Now, in your relationships, do the same thing. It's harder to keep track of because it's not numerical, but you can tell when you're giving more than when you're receiving. You can tell when you're putting in the effort and when you are making those deposits. Just try to keep them at least equal, but I always try to strive to increase my deposits more than my withdrawals. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you guys will use differential force to lift yourselves off the ground and into the air. And if you want to maintain cruise, remember, all you got to do is keep the difference in pressure equal. Don't increase it, just maintain it. It gets easier once you're airborne. Thank you once again. Subscribe to the channel. Keep going, keep learning, and keep grinding.